form you are going to fill at the end of the session. In that option, you have to give the name with which you are entering into this Google Meet, because the list of the members who are attending this Google Meet will be updated to the TNP office, so that those who are only attending will be given marks for the attendance. So enter the name with which you are entering into this Google Meet correctly in the attendance form. Everyone understood? Yeah, okay, super. Let us start the session. The topic which I'm going to cover today is nothing but the simple interest and the compound interest. And this is one of the important topic you have to study for clearing any aptitude level. Not only in company recruitment aptitude test, if you are trying to attend any bank exams or any government exams or any railway exams, you will be seeing problems on the topic simple interest and compound interest. So, to solve problems on simple interest and compound interest, you have to just remember a couple of formulas. If you are well known with the formulas, you'll be able to solve the problems based on simple interest and compound interest. So, before getting into the problems and the formulas, let me say what is simple interest and a compound interest. Let me just give a simple definition for what is simple interest and compound interest. Okay? Is my screen visible? That's fine. Okay, good. Okay, let me continue. First, what is interest? Let me say an example. If you're depositing some amount of money in bank for a certain amount of year, for what purpose you're depositing the amount in bank? In order to get some profit or gain in return, right? Similarly, the banks will offer us loans, right? For what purpose they are offering loan? They are also expecting a gain or a profit in return. So if you are depositing 1,000 rupees in bank, after some years, you'll not get back the same 1,000 rupees, right? You'll get some extra amount with the amount which you deposited. That extra amount or that profit is called as the interest. So then this interest is basically calculated on two methods. One is in the form of simple interest and other one is in the form of compound interest. Let us see first what is simple interest. Consider the same example. You are depositing 1,000 rupees in a bank for some amount for certain years. For example, for 3 years you are depositing this 1,000 rupees for some rate of interest. At the end of first year, assume that the bank is offering 10 rupees as simple interest to your account. So this 10 rupees will be credited in your account as simple interest at the end of first year. Similarly, at the end of second year, some amount will be credited in your account by the bank as simple interest. So for at the end of each year, some amount will be credited in your account. So this amount is called as the simple interest. Basically, the simple interest will be calculated only depending on the initial amount what we are paying. For example, we are paying 1,000 amount initially. We are depositing 1,000 rupees right in bank. So this simple interest will be calculated only depending on this 1,000 rupees for each year. So it will not vary. For first year, For that 1,000 rupees, what is the interest amount will be credited. Similarly, for the second year, what is the simple interest for that 1,000 rupees will be credited. So it can be of how many years. The simple interest will only depend on the initial amount which we are depositing. Clear with what is simple interest? Yeah, super. Now, what is compound interest? Compound interest is just the opposite of simple interest. What I told, what is simple interest? The simple interest will be calculated only depending on the initial amount. If you are paying 1,000 rupees as initial amount, it will depend only on that 1,000 rupees, and the interest amount will be credited. But whereas in case of compound interest, initially if you are depositing 1,000 rupees, at the end of first year, some amount, consider 10 rupees, will be credited as a compound interest in their account by the bank. Now, by adding this 10 rupees, we'll have totally 1,010 rupees in your account as the balance in the end of first year, right? So, after the end of second year, the compound interest will not be calculated based on the initial amount 1,000 rupees. Rather, it will be calculated based on the 1,010 rupees which is there at the end of first year. Clear? The compound interest is like a cumulative interest. So, depending on what is present in the account, it will be calculated. Clear with the compound interest? Simple interest will be depending only on the initial amount, whereas compound interest will be calculated. It is a cumulative addition. For the second year, it will take the total of 1,010 rupees, and for that, the compound interest will be calculated. Similarly, for third year, what is the amount in the bank at that time? For that, what is the compound interest? It will be calculated. Clear with both what is simple interest and compound interest? Yeah, superb. Now let us proceed with the formulas and how to solve problems. So let me first start with simple interest. Is the screen visible, guys? Okay, wait a minute. Let me. Is now visible? Yeah, super. Okay, let's get started. So let us first look upon the formulas for calculating simple interest. So the first formula is SI is equal to PNR by 100. SI is nothing but the simple interest. P stands for the principal amount. That is the initial amount which we are depositing. For example, we are depositing 1,000 rupees initially in a bank, or a bank is offering 1,000 rupees as loan for someone. That amount is called as the principal amount. Principal amount is nothing but the initial amount. And N stands for number of years. Called as the N, and it is number of years. In some textbooks and in some websites, you may see instead of N, they use the alphabet P. P and N both are same. It represents the time period or for how many number of years we are depositing that principal amount. And R is nothing but the rate of interest. So how much rate we are depositing the principal amount is represented by the letter R. So a simple interest formula is nothing but PNR by 100. Why the 100 is there means the rate will always be represented in the form of percentage. So percentage is nothing but if it is 5 percentage means 5 by 100, right? So in order to indicate that percentage, we are dividing PNR by 100. Clear with the first formula? And what the second formula is nothing but A is equal to P plus SI. P, as you know, it is the principal amount, and S is nothing but the simple interest. So then what is A? A is obviously the new amount, right? So initially what we are depositing plus the interest amount totally will give us the new amount. So A is nothing but the new amount, and the new amount, to calculate how much new amount we are getting in back, the formula used is A is equal to P plus SI. These two formulas, please make a note of it, are important to solve a problem based on simple interest. And now let me say some points that you have to keep remember while solving any problem in terms of simple interest. The first point is, in first formula S is equal to PNR by 100, N I said is number of years. So while reading a question, you first see whether N is given in terms of years or not. So there are chances of giving questions where, for example, I deposited rupees 10,000 in a bank for 10 months, 18 months. They will also represent N in the form of months. So make sure that whether N is given in terms of years or not. If it is not given in years, you must convert the given N in terms of years and then only have to substitute in the formula. Am I clear? If it is given in terms of months, for example, 18 months, 20 months, or 10 months, you have to first convert that months in terms of years, then you have to substitute the value of N in the formula. How to convert a month into years? It is very simple. Divide the given month by 12. You will get the year. Am I clear? If it is given in months, you have to first convert it into years. So how to convert a month into year? Simply divide the given month by 12. You will get the N in terms of years. If N is given in terms of years only in the question, no problem. You can directly substitute the value of N in the formula. Clear what I said? Make sure N is given only in the forms of years. This is the first point you should remember while solving any problem based on simple interest. And in simple interest or in problems based on simple interest, you may see some phrases like total amount, matured amount, or amount becomes. If you see any phrases like these, total amount, matured amount, or amount becomes, these all denote new amount. That is, these all are equal to A. For example, if there is a question, an amount becomes 2,000, then this 2,000 is nothing but value of A. So clear with this? So you have to see whether N is given in the forms of here. And second, if you see any of these phrases like total amount, matured amount, or amount becomes, it is equal to the value of A. So these two formulas, make a note of it. Let us proceed with the problems. Okay? Let's get started. So this is just an basic example, direct substitution of values in the formula. See, the sum of rupees 1,000 is deposited at the rate of 20% per annum for 1 year. Then the new amount is. So they are asking us to find the value of A and make clear that N is given in the form of year. So N is given here as 1 year. Then the sum of rupees 1,000. So this 1,000 is nothing but the initial amount or the principal amount which we are depositing. And at the rate of 20%. So this 20% is nothing but the rate of interest, or it is given in terms of percentage. So it is just the direct substitution of values. So we know the formula that SI is equal to PNR by 100. So P is given as 1,000 and N is given as 1 year into R is given as 20%. So 20 by 100. So we are getting simple interest as 200 rupees. But what they are asking us to find is the new amount. So the value of A they are asking. So we have to apply the second formula. What is the second formula? A is equal to P plus SI. So P value we know it is rupees 1,000 plus SI is the value which we calculated before. It is 200. So 100 plus 200 is equal to 1,200. So the new amount value is rupees 1,200. So clear with this examples of how to use the values and how to substitute? Yeah, super. And one more point to remember is that the value of A which we are getting will always be greater than the principal amount. I repeat, the value of new amount, that is A, will always be greater than the initial amount or the principal amount which we are depositing. This is also a point you should remember. Okay, so let us go to the next problem. And the next problem is how much time it will take for an amount of rupees 450 to yield rupees 81 as interest at 4.5% per annum of simple interest. So this is the question. Try to solve it. I'll also explain how to solve it. Is the screen not visible, guys? Okay, wait a minute. Is now visible? Okay, wait, let me, just a minute, guys. Is now visible? Yeah, super. So let us continue. So someone has given us the answer 4 years. So let's check whether it is correct or not. And so what is the question actually? Let us first read it. So how much time it will take for an amount of rupees 450? So this amount 450 is nothing but the principal amount P to yield rupees 81. So to yield rupees 81 as interest at 4.5% per annum. This 4.5% is nothing but the rate of interest, and they are asking us to find the number of years n. So see here, rupees 81 is given. Some may assume that this 81 is nothing but the value of A. But read the question properly that how much time it will take for an amount of rupees 450 to yield rupees 81 as interest. So this rupees 81 is not the value of A, but it is actually the value of simple interest. SA value is given as rupees 81. Or you may also cross check what I told, the value of A should always be greater than principal amount, right? So here principal amount is 450, but 81 is less than 450, so this 81 definitely cannot be the value of A. So this is the value of SI. So with this, how can we solve? So direct substitution of values. SI is equal to P naught by 100. SA value is given as 81 and P's value is given as 450. N is the term which we have to find. R is 4.5 by 100. On simplification, it is getting as 4 years. So those are answered 4 years. It is the right answer. And good. Is this problem clear? Let us proceed. Okay. The next sum is the sum of rupees 12,500 amounts to rupees 15,500 in a year of 4 at the rate of simple interest. What is the rate of simple interest? So in this problem, what are the values they have given? P is equal to 12,500 and amounts to. I said no, if you see phrases like amounts to, matured amount or amount becomes, that value is nothing but the value of A. So this 15,500 is equal to A. So in the year of 4 years, so N is given as 4 and at some rate of simple interest they said. So they are asking us to find what is the rate of interest. So try to solve this. Let us see who is getting the answer. I may also explain it. So 6%, 6%, okay, you're getting. Let us check whether it is correct or not. So what the formula we know is S is equal to PNR by 100. If we are using this S is equal to PNR by 100 formula first to calculate the rate of interest, we know the value of P, we know the value of number of years, but we don't know what is the value of simple interest, right? It is not mentioned in the form in the question, right? So we cannot use SA is equal to PNR by 100 formula directly. So first we have to find what is the value of simple interest. So we have another formula, right? A is equal to P plus SI. So from that formula we can calculate what is the value of simple interest, because A value is given as 15,500, P value is given as 12,500. So with this we can find what is the value of SI. So on simplifying we are getting SI as 3,000. So now we can apply in the simple interest formula, that is SA is equal to PNR by 100 formula, and we can get what is the value of R. So SA is what we have calculated as 3,000 is equal to P is 12,500 into N is nothing but number of years. It is given in years, so substitute directly as 4 into R is the term which we have to calculate, divide by 100. So on simplifying we are getting R as 6%. So before getting into solving a problem, what are you given in a problem first? And then come to a conclusion that which formula can be applied first, or both, how to apply both the formula, or what formula will be suitable for this question. So first understand what are the values given, and then try to come to a conclusion that which formula can be used, and then solve a problem. Am I clear? So 6% is the answer. So most of them have given the correct answer. Let us proceed with the next one. So the next sum is an amount becomes 8,800 in 4 years at 15% per annum. And what is the amount? It's just simple question, right? They are asking us to find what is the amount, and what is the amount is nothing but they are asking us to find what is the initial amount which we are depositing. Here they are asking us to find what is the value of P. So a phrase amount become is there. So 8,800 is nothing but the value of A here. And N is given as 4 years and rate is given as 15% per annum. So they are asking us to find what is the value of principal amount. So try to solve it. So how to solve this problem? See, we know two formulas, right? S is equal to PNR by 100 and the other formula is A is equal to P plus SI. But in both the formulas, we have the term P, right? But they are asking us to find the P only. So we cannot use two formulas separately to find what is the value of P. Rather, we can combine both the formulas together. So 5,500, everyone is answering. Let's see what is the answer. 5,500 is correct. So let me say how to apply it. So since both the formulas, please mute your. Okay, thank you. Let me continue. So we cannot use both the formulas separately because both the formulas are having P term. So we have to find what is P. So instead we can combine both the formulas together. How? We know the formula, right? A is equal to P plus SI. So in the place of SI, we can substitute the formula for SI. So what is the formula for SI? SI is equal to PNR by 100. So substitute it. So what we will get? A is equal to P plus PNR by 100. So in both the terms, we are having P as common. So take that out, and remaining term will have 1 plus NR by 100. Now, in except P, we are having values for other terms, right? So then it is easy for us to calculate the value of P. So substitute the values. A is given as 8,800 equal to P is the value which we have to find into 1 plus N is given as 4 years. So 4 into interest is given as 15%. So 15 by 100. So on simplifying this, we are getting P is equal to 5,500. So in this problem, you should make a note that you cannot use any one of the formula or two formulas separately. Rather, we have to combine both the formulas together in order to calculate the value of principal amount. Is this problem clear? Yeah, super. Let us continue. So this is somewhat interesting problem. Let us read what it is. What will be the ratio of simple interest earned by the rate of interest for 6 years and 9 years? So here they are asking us to find a ratio between two simple interests which is calculated at two different years. One simple interest is calculated for 6 years and other simple interest is calculated for 9 years. So we have to find the ratio between these two simple interests. How? Make a note that they didn't mention any values, right? They didn't give any value of P or only they mentioned the number of years. But they gave a hint that the rate of interest will be same for both the simple interests. So R will be same for simple interest for 6 years as well as simple interest for 9 years. So with this, we are going to solve the problem. While explaining the formula itself, I have said that for simple interest, the value of P, principal amount, will remain the same for any number of years. I have mentioned this while explaining what is simple interest. So value of P will remain same for how many number of years it may be, the value of P remains the same. So even though we are not mentioning in the question that the value of principal amount is same, for simple interest, we should consider that P will always be same. So with that, we are going to solve the problem. So simple interest 1 divided by simple interest 2 is nothing but Tn1 R1 by 100. So number of years for first simple interest is given as 6. And as I said, rate of interest for both the simple interests are same. I'm taking R1 and R2 is equal to R. And as I mentioned, simple interest, for simple interest, the principal amount will always be the same. So I'm denoting it as the letter P itself. So P into number of years for first simple interest is 6 into R by 100 divided by, so for the second simple interest, P is again P into the number of years for second simple interest is 9 into rate of interest is also same as I mentioned in the question, R divided by 100. So all the P terms, R terms and 100 will be cancelled and the left out will be 6 by 9. If you are simplifying it further, we'll get answer as 2:3. So the simple interest ratio for 6 years and 9 years is nothing but 2:3. So clear with this problem. So even though they are not mentioning the value of initial amount or principal amount will be same, it is understood that for simple interest, P will always be same. Clear with this? Shall we proceed with the next problem? Yeah, fine. Let's proceed with the next problem. So the next problem is a sum of money at a simple interest amounts to rupees 815 in 3 years and rupees 854 in 4 years. The sum is. So in this problem also, they are asking us to find the sum, that is nothing but the principal amount. We have dealt with the same problem, two problems before, right, to calculate the value of principal amount. But that problem is quite different from this problem because in this problem, they didn't mention the rate of interest or they just mentioned two different new amounts value. See, one amount, new amount is rupees 815 in 3 years and the other new amount value is 854 in 4 years. So with this value, how can we calculate the principal amount is the question. So what I said, the value of P will remain same any number of years, right? So this first amount, rupees 815 for 3 years is nothing but sum of principal amount plus sum of simple interest for 3 years, correct? Similarly, this 854 new amount is nothing but sum of the same principal amount plus the simple interest for 4 years. So, if we are subtracting these two amounts, that is for 4 years, a new amount, and the new amount for 3 years, we can able to get the simple interest for 1 year, right? Because principal amount being same will get cancelled, and the remaining left out value will only be the simple interest for 1 year, because 4 years minus 3 years will be 1 year. So for 1 year simple interest value we can get by subtracting 854 from 815. Am I clear with this point? I'll repeat. They have given two different new amount value, that is one is for 3 years and one is for 4 years. So this new amount is nothing but principal amount plus the simple interest amount for that year. So the principal amount is going to be same as I said. So if we are subtracting these two amount, that is for 4 years and for 3 years, 4 years minus 3 years will be 1 year, right? So for that 1 year, how much simple interest rate we can get? So that is what I am doing. Simple interest for 1 year is nothing but 854 minus 815, that is rupees 39. So this 39 is the simple interest for 1 year. So further, how can we proceed? So we are having new amount value for either 3 years or 4 years. Then we need to find simple interest for either 3 years or 4 years, right? So what I'm doing in the next step is I'm calculating simple interest for 3 years. How to calculate simple interest for 3 years? We are having simple interest for 1 year. So 39 is the simple interest for 1 year. 39 to 3 will be the value of simple interest for 3 years. So that is what I am doing. So I am getting value of 117. That 117 is nothing but simple interest for 3 years. So now we can use the formula A is equal to P plus SI, because A amount for 3 years is given as 815 and principal amount is what we have to calculate, and we have calculated simple interest for 3 years as 117. By substituting that, P is getting as 698. So the principal amount or the initial amount deposited is nothing but 698. You can also calculate simple interest for 4 years, that is 39 into 4, and you'll get a value that is nothing but simple interest for 4 years. And on substituting the formula of A is equal to P plus SI, you have to use the value of A as 854 if you are calculating simple interest for 4 years. Here I am calculating simple interest for 3 years, so I am using 815 as the value of A. You can use either way around and use its corresponding A value, and simplifying it, you'll get the principal amount. Is this problem clear? Yeah, superb. Let us continue. So the next sum is, a person borrows rupees 5,000 for 2 years at 4% per annum of simple interest. He lends it to another person at 6 by 4% per annum for 2 years. Find the gain of transactions per year. So by reading this question, we could find that two different simple interests are being involved in it, right? So try to solve it and let me also explain it. So read the question again. A person borrows rupees 5,000. So some person is borrowing rupees 5,000 from a bank for 2 years at 4% per annum. So this 5,000 is nothing but the principal amount or initial amount which he is borrowing from the bank. For how many years he is borrowing? He is borrowing it for 2 years. For 4%, R is nothing but 4%. So simultaneously what that person is doing means he is borrowing 5,000 from the bank. He is lending that entire 5,000 to some other person for 2 years, but at the rate of 6 by 4%. So there is a transaction involved in this, right? So we are asked to find how much gain or profit the man would get between these two transactions is the question. So 112.5 to 25 625. So let us see what is the answer. So let us first calculate the first simple interest. So 5,000 is the principal amount which he is getting from the bank, and 2 is the number of years, and 4 is the rate of interest. So it is direct substitution. So PNR by 100, it is nothing but 5,000 into 2 into 4 by 100. On simplifying, we are getting first simple interest value as 400. So the second simple interest value is nothing but the what he is lending to other person. So in this second simple interest, the value of P is 5,000 because he is lending the entire 5,000 amount only to the next person, right? So here also the P value is 5,000, and for number of years he is lending it is 2 years. So N value is here 2, and rate value is 6 1 by 4. So it is a mixed fraction. Converting into fraction, it is 25 by 4. So I'm substituting R as 25, and that 4 will come in denominator, so 100 into 4. On simplifying this, the second rate of simple interest is 625. So we got first simple interest and second simple interest. Now we are asked as to find what is the gain or the profit he would gain. So how to calculate the gain? It is nothing but just subtracting those two values, and what is the amount rest is the amount he'll have in his hand as a profit. So that is what I'm doing. So 625 minus 400 is nothing but 225. Everyone said 225 as an answer, but make a note here, right? He's borrowing 5,000 for two years. Similarly, he's lending that 5,000 for 2 years. So this 225 will be the profit amount which he will get for the entire 2 years. But what is the question being asked is nothing but find the gain of transaction per year. So they're asking what's the gain he will get only for 1 year. But we are having it for 2 years. So how to find it for 1 year? It is nothing but 225 divided by 2 will get the profit for 1 year. That is nothing but 112.5. Clear with this problem? Everyone pointed as 255, but it is for 2 years. But the question being asked is what is the profit he would get for 1 year? So the answer is 112.5. Is this sum clear? Okay, let us proceed with the next sum. So the next sum is an amount becomes 7 times in 15 years. In how many years would the same amount becomes 10 times if the rate of interest remains the same? So while reading the problem itself, they given a hint that 2 simple interests are going to be involved in this problem also, and they gave a point that rate of interest for first simple interest as well as for second simple interest will remain the same. But in this problem, they mentioned amount becomes, but they didn't mention how much amount it will become. They didn't mention what is the amount. They just mentioned it as an amount becomes 7 times in 15 years. So 7 times in 15 years is nothing but the new amount will be 7 times the initial amount for 15 years. This is the hint they have given as 7 times in 15 years. So let us consider the initial amount as P itself. If the initial amount is P, then the new amount will be 7 times of P. Then A is equal to what? 7P. So for first simple interest, we are taking A as 7P and the initial amount P as P itself, and we are going to calculate what is the simple interest for the first transaction. So SA is nothing, we are simplifying it and we are getting the value of simple interest as 6P. So now we are applying this value of simple interest in the simple interest formula in order to find what is the rate of interest. Because they have mentioned that for both the rate of interest remains the same, but we don't know what is the rate of interest. So we are substituting the value of simple interest 6P in the simple interest formula in order to get what is the rate. So SA is equal to PNR by 100. We calculated SA as 6P equal to P remains as P into N is given as 15 years. The amount becomes 7 times in 15 years. So N is nothing but 15 into R is what we are going to calculate. So R by 100. So on simplifying we are getting R as 40%. So this is the rate of interest which we'll be applying for the next second simple interest calculation also. So what is the question actually being asked? In how many years would the same amount becomes 10 times? So initial amount will be P itself, but they are asking the amount will become as 10 times the initial amount. Then it is nothing but A will be equal to 10P. So for becoming A equal to 10P, how much time, that is how much years it will take is the question. So again we are substituting in A is equal to P plus SI formula. In this simple interest, we are getting A value as 10P. So equal to P remains as P plus SI. So simple interest value we are getting as 9P. So we are again substituting this 9P in the formula of simple interest, which is nothing but PNR by 100. So simple interest value is 9P, which is equal to P remains as P into N. So for how many years it will take for the amount to become 10 times. So N is the term which we have to calculate. So N into, since rate of interest remains the same, we are using the rate which we calculated for previous simple interest, which is nothing but 40% in this also. So R is nothing but 40 by 100. On simplifying this, we are getting N as 2.25 years. So the amount will become 10 times the initial amount. The time it will take is nothing but 2.25 years. Is this problem clear? So guys, it is 22.5 only. I have made a mistake. It is not 2.25. It is 22.5 years only. So the answers which you provided is correct. So let us proceed with the next problem. So the next problem is nothing but Suresh for 2 years invested rupees 5,000 in SBI. He also invested rupees 300 in ICICI for 4 years. At the end, he received rupees 220 from both the banks as simple interest. What is the rate of interest? So by reading the question, we can understand that in this problem also, two different simple interests are being involved. A man Suresh is investing rupees 500 in one bank for 2 years. Simultaneously, is investing rupees 300 in another bank for 4 years. At the end of all these years, a total he receives 220 as a simple interest from both the banks. So they are asking us to find what is the rate of interest. So try to solve it. So 10%. Okay, what is the answer? So what actually the question is conveying? At the end, he receives rupees 220 from both the banks. So what is this 220 actually? Is nothing but the total simple interest amount which he is receiving from both the banks. That is, this 220 is nothing but simple interest from SBI bank plus simple interest from ICICI bank together is equal to 220 is given in the question. So it is direct substitution of formula. So as I said, simple interest total is equal to the simple interest amount he is getting from SBI bank plus the simple interest he is getting from ICICI bank. So 220 is equal to, so all the values are given. See, 2 years, 500 rupees. They are asking us to find the rate. So here we can assume that he's borrowing money for same rate of interest. So we are going to calculate only one rate. So N is given, T is given. So we can substitute in the simple interest formula to find what is R. So 220 is equal to, for in SBI bank he is borrowing rupees 500. For how many years? Into 2. R is what we have to calculate, divided by 100. Plus in ICICI bank he is borrowing rupees 300 for 4 years into R divided by 100. So on bringing this, taking LCM and bringing this 100 this side, we'll get 22,000. And on simplifying this, we are getting as 1000 R plus 1200 R, and further simplifying it, we are getting R as 10%. So for 10% interest, he is borrowing money from both SBI Bank and ICICI Bank. So this 220 is getting from both the banks is nothing but simple interest of SBI Bank plus simple interest of ICICI Bank. After that, you can apply the direct formula PNR by 100 and you can find what is the value of R. Clear with this form? Clear with this sum? Okay, let us proceed. That's all problems with simple interest. So, uh, are you clear with simple interest formula and how to solve problems in simple interest right now? Can you get some idea how the questions will be asked on simple interest and how to solve it? Okay. Let me just it out what I have said so far for simple interest. So two formulas, that is SI is equal to PNR by 100 and A is equal to P plus SI. So while reading the question, make sure that N is given only in terms of years, not in months. If it is given in terms of months, you have to first convert that into years and then you have to substitute in the formula. For converting months into years, just divide the given month by 12, you'll get in terms of years and then substitute in the formula. And for simple interest, principal amount will remain the same irrespective of any years. So it can be for any years, principal amount P will remain the same for that years. Okay, and the new amount A will always be greater than that of the principal amount or the initial amount. So these are the points you should keep in your mind while solving problems in simple interest, and read the question for once or twice and first understand what are the values given and what formula can be applied for it, and then solve it, you'll get the answer. And let us proceed with the compound interest. Okay. Is there any possibilities that they will give N and days? So possibilities are less. So far they didn't ask like that. If it is given, so it is simple as 365 into 12 will get divide by 365 into 12 you will get in terms of years. So most probably they'll ask in terms of months only. This is the doubt asked by Vishwa. So if they are asking in N also, so divide the number of days by given days by 360 into 12 you will get in terms of years. Clear? Okay, let us proceed with compound interest now. As I said, compound interest is nothing but cumulative interest. That is, here the principal amount will not remain the same for each year as in case of simple interest. So how to solve problems in compound interest? Let us see. So here also we'll have a couple of formulas to remember. If you are remembering, or if you are well thorough with the formulas, it is very easy for you to solve any problem given in both compound interest or simple interest. It is just you have to read the question thoroughly and you have to just come to a conclusion that what formula can be used for what. So let me now show you the formulas for compound interest. So first I have given the part A. A is nothing but, here also A is nothing but a new amount. P is same as principal amount. R is nothing but the rate of interest. N is nothing but the number of years. So in this compound interest also, you should make sure that N is given only in terms of years. If it is given in months or days, you have to convert that in terms of years and then you have to substitute it. Am I clear? So all the terms are same as that of simple interest. A is principal, P is principal amount, A is new amount, R is rate of interest, N is number of years in years. So everything is same as simple interest, but only the formula differs. So let us see first what is the formula of A. A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100, the whole power n. So that R by 100, that 100 is only for R because R will be given in terms of percentage. So it is not 1 plus R the whole by 100. That 100 is only for rate of interest. Since that rate of interest will be in terms of percentage. So we are dividing the R alone by 100 whole power n. 1 plus r by 100, the whole power n, then into p. Clear with the formula of new amount? A is nothing but p into 1 plus r by 100, the whole power n. So, in this compound interest also, A is nothing but the initial amount which we are depositing plus the compound interest which the bank is lending for us, right? So A will be in both the simple interest compound interest is nothing but P plus the amount of interest. Here we are calculating compound interest, so A is nothing but P plus compound interest. So in simple interest, we calculated interest in terms of simple interest. So there A is equal to P plus SI. But A is nothing but equal to the initial amount, principal amount, plus the interest amount which the bank is offering to us. So here we derive the formula for A, which is nothing but P into 1 plus R by 100, the whole power n. So by substituting the value of A in the second formula, that is A is equal to P plus CI, we can find what is the value of compound formula for compound interest. So CA is nothing but A minus P. So we know the formula for new amount, that is P plus R by 100, the whole power n, minus this principal amount. So in both the terms, we are having P as common. So take it out. P into 1 plus R by 100 whole power n, so minus 1. So this is the formula for compound interest. Am I clear? Okay. So which formula is comfortable for you? Just remember either A formula or CA formula so that you can derive the other formula. So A formula is quite simple, right? P into 1 plus R by 100 whole power n. So just remember the formula for A so that you can apply that formula in A plus P plus A is equal to P plus CI so that you can able to get the formula for CA. Okay, let us proceed with the sums. So the sum is, what will be the compound interest for the sum of rupees 8,000 after 3 years at the rate of 5% per annum? So it is just the direct substitution. So the sum of rupees 8,000, this 8,000 is nothing but the initial amount, the value of P. So n is given in terms of years, that is 3 years. At the rate of interest is 5%. So here I'm using, you can directly use simple interest formula here to, compound interest formula here to calculate what is the value of CI. But I find A formula is quite simple, so that I'm first using A formula. So A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100, the whole power n. I'm substituting the values in this formula, that A is equal to P value is given as 8,000 into 1 plus R is given as 5% by 100. The whole power n is given as 3, so whole power 3. So 8,000 on taking LCM for 1 plus 5 by 100, we will get as 105 by 100. So 105 by 100 power 3, so multiplying it thrice, so 105 by 100 and 105 by 100 and 105 by 100. On simplifying that, we are getting A value as 9,261. But what is being asked in the question is, they are asking us to calculate what will be the compound interest. We have to calculate CI. So we know the formula, right? A is equal to P plus CI. So we know that we have calculated the value of A and P value is given as 8,000. So from that we can calculate what is the value of simple interest. So it is nothing but A minus P. It is 9,261 minus the initial amount 8,000. So the compound interest, the value what we are getting is nothing but 1,261. So guys, we can use directly the formula of CI. It is not at all wrong. But I felt somewhat comfortable of using A formula and then getting value of C from A, so that I have substituted, use the formula of A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 whole power n formula. And then I have used A is equal to P plus CI formula to get the value of CI. So am I clear with this problem? Okay. Shall we proceed with the next problem? So the next question is, at what percent annual compound interest rate of a sum of rupees 1,000 amounts to rupees 27,000 in 3 years? So this is the question. Try to solve it. Let us see what is the answer. So what is actually given in the problem? Let us see. At what percent annual compound interest rate? So at what percent annual compound interest rate? It is nothing but they are asking us to find the value of R. If a sum of rupees 1000 amounts to rupees 27,000 in 3 years. So the initial amount, the value of P is given as 1000 and amounts to, the phrase amounts to is here. So rupees 27,000 is nothing but the value of A. In compound interest also, the value of A will always be greater than the value of principal amount. So you can verify it. The principal amount is 1000, whereas the new amount is 27,000, so it is greater. So this 27,000 is nothing but the value of A. So in 3 years, N is given as 3. So it is direct substitution of value. So 200% or 2%. Okay, let us see what's the answer. So A is equal to, it is direct, we have to use A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100, the whole power N, because the new amount value is given, P value is given, N value is given, R is what we are asked to find. So A is given as 27,000 is equal to 1 plus R by 100. So R is equal to 1000 into 1 plus R value is what we have to find by 100, whole power N is given as 3. So on cancelling this 27,000 and 1000, we will get 27 is equal to 1 plus R by 100, the whole power 3. So this power 3 on going to left side will get it as cubic root of 27, right? So cubic root of 27 is nothing but 3. So 3 is equal to, on taking LCM, we are getting 100 plus R by 100. And on bringing this 100 to left hand side, we'll get R is equal to 300 minus 100. So R is equal to 200%. So what answer you got is right, R is 200%. So it is direct substitution of formula. So now let us go to the next level of solving. That is nothing but, so far we have seen of calculating simple interest or compound interest for 1 year or 4 years or 5 years. So the next, what we are going to see is calculating simple interest or compound interest for half yearly or quarterly basis. So what is half yearly or quarterly basis? Is the screen clear? Are you able to see the writings on the screen? Yeah, that's fine. So let's proceed. So the next, what we are going to see is a couple of problems to solve if a question is based on half yearly or quarterly. Half yearly is nothing but, half of a year is nothing but 6 months, right? So 2 6 months is equal to that of 1 year. So half yearly is nothing but for half of the year, what is the simple interest or compound interest will be asked to find. So in the question, they will be mentioning as what is the compound interest calculated half yearly or what is the compound interest calculated quarterly. So they will be mentioning it as.
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Screen not visible, ma'am.
Screen is not visible.
Yes, ma'am.
For everyone it is not visible, guys. No, I think. So please check with your connections or.
I think he should pin the chat.
Hari, so then please check with your connections because everyone is able to see my screen. So try to check your connections and try to pin my name so that you'll be able to see my screen. So thank you, Deepak. So let us proceed. Shall we proceed, guys? Yeah, okay, fine. So half yearly, quarterly, they'll be mentioning in the question itself. Calculate the compound interest half yearly or quarterly. So if they are mentioning it as half yearly or quarterly, so you have to use these formula. If they are not mentioning like that, you have to just use the basic formulas for compound interest as well as simple interest. Okay. So what is half yearly? So half of a year, it is nothing but 6 months. So if we 6 months is equal to 1 year, right? So that is the basic concept we are going to use here. So n should always be in years. Make sure that in each and every problem, n should always be in years. So don't get confused that it is for 6 months, so n should be in months. No, n should always be in years. Half year is nothing but for calculating for 6 months, that is for 2 half years, which is equal to 1 year. So since half year is nothing but 6 months, that is 2 half year is equal to 1 year, we are multiplying n with 2. So this is just the same formula of the previous component interest which you have seen. A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100, the whole per n. Instead of R and n, we are substituting here as R by 2 and 2n. Why? Because 2 half year is equal to 1 year, right? So we are multiplying n with 2. Similarly, R will be given for per annum. Per annum is nothing but for 1 year. But we want it for half a year. So we want the rate of interest for half a year to calculate half yearly compound interest or simple interest. So for that we are using R by 2 divided by 100. So this formula is for half yearly or quarterly calculation for compound interest, not for simple interest. This formula is for half yearly or quarterly calculation for compound interest. Don't confuse with it. So but the concept is same. For simple interest also, if they are asking you to calculate for half yearly or quarterly, just what is the formula? It is P and R by 100, right? So divide R by 2 and multiply n with 2. So you'll get for half year or quarter year. So that is what we are doing here. The basic formula for compound interest is A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100. Since they are asking us to find for half year, we are multiplying n with 2 and we are dividing R by 2. Because R will be given per year. For per annum it will be given. But they are asking us to find for half a year. So R by 2. So quarterly is nothing but it is a 4 months, right? 4 months, 4 months, 4 months, 4 months will get 1 year. So we are multiplying n with 4. And for calculating 1 by 4th of 1 year, R will be given in years, right? So we are dividing R by 4 for calculating quarterly. Guys, you understand the formula, what I have said now? For half yearly, you have to just multiply n with 2 and divide R by 2. And if they are asking to calculate for quarterly, you have to multiply n with 4 and divide R by 4. And here also make sure that R should be in years only. Don't confuse it. So everywhere, throughout the problems for both simple interest or compound interest, n should always be in years. If they are mentioning in question to calculate half yearly or quarterly, then you have to proceed. Like if it is asked to calculate half yearly, means multiply n by 2 and divide R by 2. And if they are asking us to calculate quarterly compound interest or simple interest, multiply n by 4 and divide R by 4. Clear with this formula, guys? Okay. Let us proceed. Let us see the problem so that you may come to an understanding how to apply these formulas. So see the first question. A invested rupees 16,000 at the rate of 10% per annum for 1 year. If the interest is compounded half yearly, as I said earlier, they will be mentioning as half yearly or quarterly to calculate it. If unless and otherwise, if they are mentioning only, you have to use the formulas which I have said. If they are not mentioning it as half yearly or quarterly, no need of applying this formula. You can directly use the basic formula which I have said first. Since they are mentioning here it as if the interest is compounded half yearly, we are going to use the half yearly formula. Then find the total amount received by A at the end of year. So it is direct substitution. Rupees 16,000 is nothing but the initial amount. P is given as 16,000. R is given as 10% per annum. As I said, this 10% is for per annum is nothing but for 1 year. The rate of interest is 10%. Since they are asking us to find for half year, what we have to do? 10 divided by 2, that is R by 2, we'll get R by 2 as 5%. Then year is given as 1 year. What I told you have to multiply it with 2. So 2n is nothing but 2 years. So now we can substitute in the formula of half year. So A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 2 by 100, the whole power 2n. So P is given as 16,000 into 1 plus R by 2 value we calculated as 5%, So it is 5 by 100. The whole power n is given as 1, but in formula we are having 2n. So 2 into 1 is nothing but 2. So then it is nothing. Taking LCM will get it as 105 by 100 whole power 2. So 16,000 into 105 by 100 into 105 by 100. On the total, we are getting A as 17,640. So the total amount is being asked to find, right? So we have found A as 17,640. Is this sum clear and got an idea how to apply half yearly formulas to obtain the values? Unless and otherwise, if it is not specified as half yearly or quarterly, you can use the basic formula which I have taught previously. Clear with this problem, guys? Yeah, super. Let us proceed with the next problem. So the next problem is a sum of rupees 40,000 is invested for 18 months at 20% per annum on compound interest. If the interest is of compounded half yearly, what will be the interest paid? So this is an easy sum if you are listening to my class so far. So you can solve it. Try to solve it. Let me see what is the answer. So what are the values given here? Sum of rupees. So this 40,000 is nothing but the principal amount. P is given as 40,000. Invested for 18 months. Guys, what I have said, N should always be in terms of years. But see, in this problem, N is given in terms of months. 18 months, they have given N as 18 months. So what we have to do, we have to convert this months in terms of years. So what we'll do, 18 by 12, so that we'll get N in terms of years. So rate is given as 20% per annum. So if the interest is compounded half yearly, so they are asking us to find half yearly compound interest. So what we have to do, P is given as 40,000 or per annum it is given as 20,000 and N is given as 18 months. First convert this N in terms of years. So 18 by 12, it is nothing but 3 by 2 years. So N is nothing but 3 by 2 years. Then further what we have to do, we have to find what is the value of R by 2. Because R 20% is for 1 year, but half year is nothing but for half of the year. So R by 2 is nothing but 20 by 2, it is 10% for half year. And in half year formula, we will be multiplying N with 2. So 3 by 2 years is N, 2N is nothing but 3 years. So near substitution of values. So what is the formula? A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 2 by 100 whole power 2N. So they are asking us to find the compound interest. So we don't know value of A. First we'll calculate what is the value of A. So P is given as 40,000 into 1 plus rate R by 2 we calculated as 10. So 10 by 100 whole power 2N we calculated as 3. So on taking LCM we'll get as 110 by 100 power 3. So multiplying it twice. So 40,000 into 110 by 100 into 110 by 100 into 110 by 100. And simplifying it further, we are getting A value as 53,240 rupees. But the question being asked is to find what is the compound interest calculated half year. So we got the value of A. So this value is for compounded for half yearly only. So on substituting the value of A is equal to P plus CI, we can get the value of CI. So CI is equal to A minus P, that is 53,240 minus 40,000. So CI value is 13,240. So this CI amount is compounded for half of the year. So clear with this problem? Yeah, okay. Let's proceed with the next problem. The compound interest on rupees 8,000 for 9 months at 20% per annum rate of interest being compounded quarterly is. So in this problem, they are asking us to find the compound interest calculated quarterly. So what is the formula? We have to multiply 4 by 4, N by 4, and we have to divide R by 4. Because here 20% rate of interest is for per annum, for 1 year. So for quarterly, we have to divide 20 by 4. And make sure that N is given in years or not. In this problem also, n is not given in the form of years. Rather, it is given in the form of months. So first convert the given n in terms of months into years. So what to do? 9 divided by 12. So we are getting n as 3 by 4 years. So they are asking us to find compound quarterly interest. Compound interest calculated quarterly. So what we have to do? We have to multiply n with 4. So for 4n is equal to 3 years. And similarly, we have to divide R by 4 because 20% is for 1 year. So for R by 4 is equal to 20 by 4, it is 5%. So you can substitute in the formula of quarterly. So A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 4 by 100, the whole power 4n. So for A is equal to P is given as 8,000 into 1 plus R by 4 we calculated as 5 by 5%. So it is 5 by 100. The whole power 4n is what we got as 3. So whole power 3. So on simplifying this, we are getting the A amount calculated for quarterly is 9,261. We are now asking what will be compound interest for this amount. So we know the formula A is equal to P plus CI. So CI is nothing but A minus P. A is what we got as 9,261 minus the initial amount is given as 8,000. So on simplifying this, we'll get compound interest calculated quarterly is rupees 1,261. So clear with this sum how to calculate if they are asking us to calculate compound interest on quarterly basis? Yeah, fine. Okay. Let's proceed with the next sum. So the next sum is find the compound interest on rupees 32,000 at 10% per annum being compounded quarterly for 6 months. So principal amount is given as rupees 32,000 and the rate of interest per annum is given as 10% and n is given in terms of months, that is 6 months, and they are asking us to find quarterly compound interest. So first convert this n in terms of years and then for quarterly multiply that n with 4 and divide the 10% of rate of interest by 4 and substitute in the formula. Let's see who is answering. So 3,200, we got an answer 3,200. Let us wait. Okay, let us proceed. Let us see what is the answer. The given principal amount is nothing but 32,000. 1620, yeah, it is correct answer. So let us proceed how to solve it. So P is given as 32,000. R is given as 10% and that 10% is for per annum, that is for 1 year. And N is given in terms of 6 months. So first step what we have to do is converting that N in terms of months to in terms of years. So it is nothing but 6 by 12. So it is half a year. So for calculating quarterly compound interest, we have to divide R by 4. So R is given as 10. So 10 by 4 is 5 by 2%. And we have to multiply that N with 4. So 4N is nothing but 2 years. So now we can substitute in the formula directly. A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 4 by 100, the whole power 4N. So here P value is 32,000. 1 plus R by 4 value is 5 by 2 divided by 100, whole power 4N value is 2. So 5 by 2 on dividing 5 by 2 will get 2.5 round 2.5 and if you are bringing that to down, it is 25 by 100. So 5 by 2 is 2.5. If you are converting into whole number, it will be 25 by 100 into 10. So it will be 25 by 1000. On taking LCM with 1, we'll get it as 1025 by 1000 whole power 2. So multiplying it twice. So 32,000 into 1025 by 1000 into 1025 by 1000. On simplifying this, we are getting the new amount calculated quarterly is 33,620. So, but what they are asking is to find a compound interest calculated quarterly. So we know the formula A is equal to P plus CI. So CI is equal to A minus P. So A, what we have calculated is 33,620 minus the P is the initial amount, which is 32,000. On simplifying this, we'll get CI as rupees 1,620, and this amount is what being calculated quarterly. Okay with this problem? Clear with how to solve problems if it is asked to calculate for half a year quarterly basis? Okay. So far we have calculated simple interest and compound interest only depending based on the depositing or lending or borrowing in terms of banks. So simple interest and compound interest we have dealt so far only what is happening in bank side. So simple interest and compound interest can also be used to calculate a population of a country or a population of a city. So we can use simple interest and compound interest formula to find the population of a city too. So now we are going to see how to use compound interest formula for calculating a population increase or decrease in a particular city or a particular country. Let us proceed. So is the screen visible? Is the writing clear? Okay, let me proceed. So, how to apply this compound interest formula in order to find a population increase or a decrease in a country is nothing but basically there will be only two kinds of problems in case of population increase or decrease. One is they'll be giving the population of this country is this much in this year. What will be the population after 3 years or after 5 years? So one type of question will be asked as to find what will be the compound interest after some time of years. And the second type of question will be they'll be giving the present population is this much. What was the population 3 years ago or 3 years before? So the second type of question will be asking us to find the population 3 years ago or before. So on population problem, you may expect only two types of problems. One is asking us to find population after n years or population before n years. So in this also there is a further subdivision. They'll be mentioning as, for example, the population of city Chennai is 1 lakh at 2016. If the population is increasing at the rate of 20% per annum, they may mention the rate of interest in case of increasing or decreasing. So according to that, the formula may change. The first, what formula I have given is after n years increase in rate. If in the question, they are asking us to find what will be the population after n years. Similarly, if the rate of interest is set as increasing means, the formula to be used is A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 whole power n. This is nothing but the basic compound interest formula which we have dealt with. So in a question, if they are asking us to find what will be the population after n years, similarly, if the rate is given in terms of increasing, then we have to use this formula. A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 the whole power n. Second type, if they are asking us to find the population after n years, but they are mentioning rate as decreasing means we have to use the second formula. It is nothing but A equal to P into 1 instead of plus, since the rate is decreasing, 1 minus R by 100 the whole power n. So after n years, if the rate is increasing, we are going to use same formula what we dealt with compound interest. That is A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 whole power n. For after n years, if they are mentioning rate as decreasing means, you have to subtract the rate of interest. So A is equal to P into 1 minus R by 100 the whole power n. So this is for questions if they are asking us to find the population after n years increasing or decreasing. Now let us go to the second type of question. That is, if they are asking us to find what will be the population before n years, means it is nothing but A is equal to, in after n years, we are multiplying P into 1 plus R by 100. So if they are asking us to find before n years, we should divide P divided by 1 plus R by 100 the whole power n. So if they are asking us to find before n years and the rate is increasing means T divided by 1 plus R by 100 whole power n. If they are asking us to find the population before n years and the rate is decreasing means T divided by 1 minus R by 100 the whole power n. So these are the four simple formulas you can keep in your mind. You can remember easily. After n years means it is same as set of components and formula, that is P into 1 plus R by 100 whole power n. If it is increasing, we are going to add R by 100. If it is decreasing now, we are going to 1 minus R by 100. So in the other way, if they are asking us to find population before n years means we are going to divide T by 1 plus R by 100 the whole power n. If the rate is given in terms of increasing, we are going to do plus R by 100. If the rate is given in terms of decreasing, we are going to just subtract it. So clear with this four formulas? Yeah, fine. So let us see the problems based on this. So the first question is, the population of Chennai city decreases at the rate of 10% per annum. The population was 4 lakh in 2017. What is the population at 2020? So I'll read the question again. The population of Chennai city decreases at the rate of. So you have to note this. The rate is given in terms of decreasing. So we are going to subtract it. So 10% per annum. The population was 4 lakh in 2017. In 2017, Chennai population was given as 4 lakhs. So what is the population at 2020? So it is nothing but we are going to apply after n years decreasing formula, because 2017 value they are given. They are asking us to calculate 2020. So it is 2017 after 3 years. So 2020 minus 2017 is nothing but 3 years. So after 3 years from 2017, what will be the calculation population in Chennai city? The question is being asked. So initial amount as 2017 they gave us 4 lakh. So that we will consider as P. So P is equal to 4 lakh. N is nothing but I told 2020 minus 2017, it is 3 years, and R is given as 10% per annum decreasing. So now you are going to apply after n years decreasing formula. So A is equal to P into 1 minus R by 100 whole power n. Since rate is given in terms of decreasing, we are minusing it, and since they are asking us to find after 3 years, so we are using P into 1 minus R by 100 formula. So direct substitution, P is given as 4 lakh, 1 minus R is given as 10% divided by 100, whole power n is given as 3. So on simplifying that, we are getting the population will be 2,91,600 in the year 2020. So clear with the sum? Got an idea how to solve if the problems are based on population? Okay, let us proceed. So the next sum is, the population of Chennai increases at the rate of 5% per annum. If the present population is 3,70,440, then the population 3 years ago. So in this you have to note the rate is given in terms of increasing. So we are going to plus the rate. And they are asking us to find 3 years ago. So before formula we are going to, before n years they are asking us to find. So before n years increasing formula we are going to apply here. So what is the formula? A is equal to P divided by, since they are asking us to find 3 years ago, it is P divided by 1, since the rate is increasing, 1 plus R by 100 the whole power n. So A is equal to, P is given as 3,70,440. So that is P, and 1 plus 5, R is given as 5%. So 5 divided by 100, the whole power 3. So on simplifying that, we are getting the value of A as 3,20,000. So here with this, so got an idea where to use which formula out of 4 formulas? Okay. And the next sum. Let us go to the next sum. The population is 5,000. It increases 10% in the first year. It decreases 20% in the second year, And in the third year, population increases by 30%. What will be the population at the end of third year? So this question is quite different from the previous two questions which we have dealt with, but it is also easy to solve. So instead of mentioning it for a year, they are mentioning three different years rate. So for first year, they are saying population is increasing for 10 percentage, and on the second year, they are saying it is decreasing for 20 percentage, and for third year, they are saying it is increasing for 30 percentage. So at the end of third year, what will be the population is the question being asked. So we are going to use a mixture of formula. So one thing is clear that we are going to use after n formula only, because at the end of third year means first year after second year, so after third year. So at the end of third year will be what is the population is being asked. So after n years is the formula we are going to use, but the mixture of rate will be we are going to apply in this formula. So initial amount P is given as 5,000. So for first year, what they gave, increases 10% in first year. So the rate of interest is increasing for the first year. So what we are going to do, we are going to multiply with P. 1, since the rate is increasing for the first year, it is 1 plus 10 by 100. Since we are calculating only for that 1 year, the power will be 1. So I have not mentioned it. So 5,000 into, for the first year it is increasing, so I am adding the rate of interest. So it is 1 plus 10 by 100. Similarly, for the second year, they are saying it is decreasing by 20%. So I am going to subtract that 20% of rate. So it is 1 minus 20 by 100. So don't assume it wrongly that it should be of power 2, because for that set year we are calculating, we are not calculating for the entire 2 years. We are calculating for that first year, and we are calculating for the next first year, and we are calculating for the next third year. So on the whole we are getting a 3 years. So it is not that power 1. So 1 minus 20 by 100 power 2, which we are not calculating for the entire 2 years. We are calculating for that second year alone. So that here also the power will be 1 only. So that is number of years will be 1. Then what is given at the third year, the population is again increasing 30%. So it is increasing. So I am going to add the rate of interest. So it is 1 plus 30 by 100. Here also we are calculating only for that particular third year. So n here will also be 1. So it is power 1. So after n years, so I am multiplying P. So it is, I am using the formula P into 1 plus R by 100 whole power n. Since for first year it is increasing, I am adding that 10%. For second year it is decreasing, so I am subtracting it. And for third year it is again increasing, so I am adding that 30%. Since I am calculating for each year separately, in each cases the value of n will be equal to 1. Okay. On simplifying that, we are getting a value A is equal to 5,720. So at the end of third year, the population will be of 5,720. Clear with this problem? Okay. So that's all up to component test or simple component test based on population. So for example, in questions or in aptitude, they'll be giving mixture of simple interest and compound interest problems only, right? They will not give simple interest problems around, or they will not give compound interest problems around. They will give both simple interest and compound interest problems as a whole. How to differentiate between which system, for which sum we have to apply simple interest, or for which sum we have to apply compound interest is that in most of the cases, for compound interest, they'll be mentioning it as calculate the compound interest. If in some cases, in a sum, they are not at all mentioning it is simple calculate simple interest or calculate compound interest, you have to calculate only simple interest. Keep this in mind. If they are not mentioning anything in the question that as to whether to calculate simple interest or compound interest, you have to just use the formula of simple interest to solve that problem. Is this point clear? Yeah, okay. So I have some two more problems with combination of both simple interest and compound interest. Let us see that, and let us proceed. Okay, so this is the problem. So there is 60% increase in an amount in 6 years of simple interest. What will be the compound interest of rupees 12,000 after 3 years at the same rate? So far we have dealt simple interest separately and compound interest separately. But if in this question, if you see, there is combination of both simple interest and compound interest. Let us see how to calculate such problem. So what is the question given? There is 60% increase in an amount in 6 years of simple interest. So first line deals with simple interest. So let us first solve it. So what they are saying is 60% increase in an amount. We have dealt in simple interest formula that the amount became 7 times the initial amount, 10 times an initial amount. We solved the problem, right, in simple interest, right? So this problem is quite similar to that. So in this, they are giving the new amount, that is A will be 60% more than that of the initial amount. So in this case, we'll assume P is equal to 100 rupees. So in such problem, we should assume ourselves as P is equal to 100 rupees. So in the question, they mentioned number of years N is equal to 6, right? So with this, we can find what will be the value of A. So what they said, A will be 60% more than that of P, right? So first we have to calculate what will be that 60% more. What is that 60% more amount will be? So it is nothing but you have dealt with percentage, right? 60 by 100 into that is into P, that is into 100. So 100 will be cancelled. So that 60% increase amount will be equal to 60%. But what we want is the value of A. So this 60 is not the value of A. It is the increased amount of A. So A actual value is P plus that increased amount 60. So A is equal to 100 plus 60. So the value of A is 160. So we have found the value of A. So now we are applying in simple interest formula. What is the simple interest formula? SI is equal to PNR by 100. So before that we are calculating, we have to know what is the value of simple interest. So we are substituting in the formula A is equal to P plus SI. So SI is nothing but A minus P. So A, what we have calculated is 160 minus 100 is what we assumed the value of P. So simple interest what we are getting is 60. Okay, with this, first we have to find the rate. Because in the question they have mentioned, for both the simple interest and the compound interest will be of same rate. So by using simple interest formula, we are first finding the rate, what is the rate, and we are applying that rate in order to find what is the compound interest. Okay, so we have found the rate as 10%. And you may also, if you have confusion whether it is 60 by 100 and 100 is 60, right? So if you have a confusion whether this 60 is the value of A or not, I've told you, right, A should always be greater than that of P. So this 60 is less than what we have assumed value of P. So P is 100. So this 60 will definitely not be the value of A. So this 60 will then be the increased amount. So that this 60 is the increasing amount of A. So then A will be 100 plus 60, which is equal to 160, which is greater than that of the initial amount. So with this simple interest formula, we have calculated what is the rate of interest. Now we have to calculate the compound interest. So for compound interest, the principal amount is given as 12,000 and N is given as 3 years. We are asking us to calculate the rate of interest. So I'm applying A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 whole power N formula. So A is equal to P is given as 12,000 and rate is what? Since rate is same for both simple interest and compound interest, we have calculated rate by using simple interest formula, which is 10%. I'm using the 10% here. So 10% by 100 whole power N is mentioned as 3 years for compound interest. Don't confuse with that 6 years. That's 6 years for simple interest and this 3 years is for compound interest. So we have to substitute this 3 years here. So part C, on simplifying, we are getting A as 15,972. So in the question, they are asking us to find what is the compound interest amount. So we are again using the formula A is equal to P plus CI. So CI is nothing but A minus P. So A is nothing but 15,972 minus A principal value they have given as 12,000. So minus 12,000. So CI is equal to 3,972. In this question, you have to make sure that for simple interest, P is not mentioned. What is the principal amount is not given. So we are assuming it as 100. Whereas in the case of compound interest, they have mentioned rupees 12,000 as principal interest. So in this case we should not substitute P as 100 rupees, then it will be wrong. Since they have given the value for compound interest as 12,000, we have to use that for calculating the compound interest. If they are mentioning the value of P in simple interest also, you can use that value. If they are not mentioning, you can use P as 100 rupees. Clear with this problem? How to use the combination of both simple interest and compound interest problem is asked. Yeah. Okay, this is the last problem. So let us see it. The effective annual rate of interest to a nominal rate of 6% per annum payable compounded half yearly is. So in this problem, what we have to see is nothing but the term we got is compounded half yearly. So we have to use half yearly formula. So what is actually being asked? The effective annual rate of interest. So and it is don't assume that it is we have to find rate of interest because they have given the rate of interest at 6%. It is nothing but we have to find what is the compound interest value. It is indirectly given as the effective annual rate of interest. So in this problem also we are going to find what is the compound interest value. So in this also they didn't mention what is the value of P. They have given only the rate of interest as 6%, and we are going to use compound interest formula because we have the word as compounded half yearly. So we are going to apply half yearly compound formula here. So we are assuming P as 100 and 6% it is for per annum. So we are dividing 6 by 2. So we are getting R as 3 by 100. For 1 year only they are asking as to find the compound interest. So n is 1. We have to multiply that n into 2. So it is 2n. So it is 100 into 1 plus 3 by 100 part 2. On simplifying this, we are getting value of A as 106.09. The effective rate is nothing but the compound interest. So how to calculate compound interest? A is equal to P plus CI. So CI is nothing but A minus P. A what we have calculated is 106.09 minus P we have assumed it as 100 rupees. So 106.09 minus 100 is 6.09. So this is the effective annual rate. So annual rate is nothing but for 1 year they are asking. So that's only we assume n as 1 there. Clear with this problem? Yeah, okay. So that's all guys. So that's all about the problems on simple interest and compound interest. It is quite a very simple and easy topic if you are thorough with the formulas and where to apply which formula and what are the values given in the question. If you are thorough with this, you'll be able to clear the question which is based on simple interest and compound interest. Is there any doubts? So as I mentioned earlier, if in the question either simple interest or compound interest is not mentioned, it is not mentioned what to calculate means you have to use simple interest formula only to solve that problem. Unless and otherwise it is mentioned as compound interest, you have to apply compound interest problem. Similarly, if it is mentioned as compounded half yearly or quarterly, you have to use that formula. Otherwise, you have to use the basic formula. Read the question once or twice so that you will come to a conclusion that what are the values given in that and which formula can be applied for that, so that you are able to get the answers correctly. And for both simple interest or compound interest or for half yearly or quarterly, n should always be in years. Make sure n is always be given in terms of years. If not, you have to convert the given n in terms of years. That is, if it is given in terms of months, you have to divide it by 12. So this one, is my voice not clear, guys? Am I audible? Am I audible now? Yeah, okay. So I was just listing out what I have said so far. Okay, I'll let you again. Is now clear this one for you? Okay, that's fine. I was just listing out what I have said is, if in a question they are not mentioning what to calculate, that is either simple interest or compound interest, you have to calculate only simple interest. Use the formula of simple interest to solve that problem. Unless and otherwise, if they are specifying calculate the compound interest like that, if you found compound word anywhere in the question, you have to use the compound interest formula to solve that problem. And if they are mentioning it as compounded half yearly or quarterly only, you have to use that formula, that is half yearly or quarterly formula. Otherwise, you have to use the normal compound interest or simple interest formula. Then make sure for both simple interest and compound interest, N should always be in terms of years. If it is not given in terms of years, you have to convert them in terms of years and then you have to substitute that in the corresponding formula. So these are the points you have to keep in your mind while solving essay and CA problems, and make sure that the new amount A is always greater than that of the principal amount. So if you're confused with which is the principal amount or which is the new amount given in the question, you can use this idea that A value will always be greater than that of P. So the value which is greater will be the value of new amount, and the rest of the amount will be the value of. And what else? Yeah, that's all. And for simple interest, the value of P remains same irrespective of years. Whereas in compound interest, it is not the case. For simple interest, the value of P will be same for if it is P for 4 years. For 8 years also it will be P only. So the value of principal amount will remain the same. So that's all, guys. So any doubts? Sure, Vishwal. I'll share the PPT. You can make use of it. So, is this session useful and clear? Yeah, fine. So guys, I've announced some instruction at the starting of the class. So this is those have joined late. I'll again inform that instruction. You'll be given that attendance link form, right? In that attendance link, you'll be having today an additional option called Chrome profile name. An option will be provided in that, so that Chrome profile name, in that what you have to give is with what name you have logged in this Google Meet, same name without any changes you have to enter in that Chrome profile name option. So what name you're logged into this Google Meet, you have to give that same name in that attendance form, so that those who are attending the session will be given attendance, and there will be no problem in giving that. So those who are attending the session, the entire name list will be sent to TNP office. So only the names with which you are logging in this Google Meet only will be sent to the TNP office. So please use the name with which you are logging into this Google Meet in that option called Google Profile Name under that attendance link. So am I clear? Okay, guys. So I'll share this PPT.